IRC Media brings you the first source you can watch for truth on board decisions in Indian River County. The Board Report, where taxpayers and policymakers intersect. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to get notified when we go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Visit IndianRiverConnections.com for more.
Here we are.
Welcome back to the board report with all three of us.
Yes, we're having each one of us had different technical difficulties. That's why we're starting late tonight. But it's not like we were searching for something to talk about. How you guys doing this evening?
Good. Just trying to get caught up on all the fun stuff going on in Vero. It's a little bizarre, really, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, we can go right into the local news if you would like, and I'll just give it a little spiel. So we're talking about a case that hits right here at home, and it's still unfolding. Double homicide outside the Indian River County Library, where 2 employees were killed and a suspect who didn't just flee, but the guy walked into the ocean. I'm not laughing at the whole idea, but it seems like a shit show to me. But was found nearly 1,000 yards offshore, gave a fake name, refused the help, and then just vanished. And then 4 days later, we have another press conference, and apparently this guy walked out of the ocean and walked away. So the police call this targeted. It's a crime of passion, but at the same time, they're expanding the search and warning the public that this man could still be armed and dangerous.
Oh my God.
The whole thing, I've got the details here also, and I mean, have we not had enough of like these crazy headlines coming out of Vero Beach in Indian River County? Is it one thing after another, or is it just me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't even know that he walked out of the beach. I thought he swam out to Cuba or whatever, or got eaten by a shark. You mean they can't find him? How can they not find him?
So what we're talking about, I'll pull up the slideshow here so people at home understand.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that he swam out there and they saw him there and just like, hey, this is cool. Like a guy's 1,000 yards out from the beach. It's cool.
I have such a strong opinion on this, and I'll get to that in a minute. But this is Jesse Scott, Jesse Scott Ellis. He's wanted. He was a person of interest, and now I believe they're flat out calling him a suspect in the double homicide of his estranged wife, soon to be ex-wife, or I'm not even sure, and another gentleman. Both worked for the county for a long time, and this is the gentleman that's actually still out there. Who, by the way,
they caught his footage on the cameras at the library, right? So they know it's him.
Yes, but we haven't seen that yet.
They haven't released it.
But that's what they're going on, that they're positive it's him because
they're saying
the video,
that's the beach right there.
Yep, they're claiming it was definitely him at the library based on the truck, the video of him, then his truck at the South Beach, and then the description given by the witness who saw him walking into the ocean, and then the description based on the firefighters that went out and saw him 900 yards offshore, which I still have mixed feelings about that. Like, why wasn't there a law enforcement officer on that boat? And if I was the police or the fire department chief, I would be a little upset that with all this unfolding, and even though it's across town, with all this unfolding, I didn't know there's a person of interest for a double homicide, literally not even an hour old, out there somewhere. So I think that should be like an alert system for all first responders to take an extra precaution on all of their calls, especially one 900 yards offshore.
So that's why the boat was out there, because they heard that somebody had claimed they saw him walk into the water. So they were there for the purpose of trying to identify an odd suspect in the water. And they did find one, but they let him go. They didn't even sit around and say, all right, this is really strange. Let's just chill out, keep an eye on this guy and radio it in that there's somebody in the water that could be the suspect, but we don't know. It's like none of that happened.
It's crazy to me. The whole way it's handled and the information as it's coming out, the way it's being delivered, nothing about this feels right to me. I think the homicide aside, the way the case is being handled should be questioned. Also, I hate to bash any law enforcement department or any chief or sheriff, but I mean, this is big time stuff right here. Maybe they need some more professional help delivering the message. I don't know, or not deliver the message yet, because based on everything we've heard now, 4 days later, there was a lot more information out there, but they were still downplaying this as no threat to the community. But through the press conference today, the chief can't say that now because of the empty holster with no gun matching at his residence. So I guess it's a 380. I don't know. But supposedly, so this is how, from what I'm picking up, this is how it went down. He committed the crime at the library, drove his truck to South Beach, took off swimming, I guess fully clothed. Probably kicked off most of his clothes. I don't know if the fire department ever said, was he still fully clothed when they encountered him or not. Somehow, well, I take that back, because now that I think about it, the chief did say after they got the search warrant for the truck, which I don't know what the timeline on that really was. I wish Thomas Kenny was able to join us, but after they got the search warrant for the truck, they found wet clothes in the truck. So did he come back to the truck?
Really? I didn't know.
Were the police there at 11 a.m.? And then after that, did this guy come back to his truck and then take off walking down the beach after changing clothes, or what?
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. And the way the chief is delivering this timeline of events, I'm sorry, I'll have to watch it again, because maybe I'm just slow and I'm not picking up on it. But if somebody at home can correct me, that's all I've got. Like, I've got the whole set of details and we can go through them, but something doesn't add up between the time he went in the ocean and the time he supposedly was helped by some residents, by what's the two towers? Can't think of what they're called. But
I forget what they're called.
Supposedly they had to enter the water and help him out because he had a cramp. And then once he was better, he took off walking, and supposedly that's the picture you see.
See, that's so strange. Like, if the fire department on the water had radioed it in, they could have had a police officer or somebody stationed on the beach waiting to see if somebody was going to come out of the water. So it sounds like he turned around and came back out of the water, and people helped him because he had a cramp. And then it sounds like he went to his car and changed his clothes and left the wet ones there, and now he's gone. So it's like if they had put somebody, if the communication was there and they put somebody there on the beach scoping it out and seeing, okay, who's coming out of the beach now, out of the water now. And just, I don't know, it just seems like there's some gaps in there.
Big time. And I don't know if the chief is the right one to be delivering this. So what we do know is the suspect is Jesse Scott Ellis. He's 64, still at large, considered armed and dangerous. The manhunt is active and expanding. Reagan, can you go check on her? All this happened at 7 a.m. It started at 7 a.m. in the parking lot outside the library. Nobody was in the building, I believe. This was all outside. The victims were Stacie Mason. She was 49, and Danny Ooley, he was 56. Both were longtime Indian River County employees. Obviously, we do know now this was a domestic relationship-related crime of passion. Targeted, of course. Not to believe, to be random. The chief today said something about there was more than 20 casings they found, and they were able to match them with the casings they found at his residence. So they're connecting the dots
So they
slowly.
found casings at the residence and some at the, which amounted to
Yeah.
20 that they have all together, but
Well, the
they
one
didn't,
that
there
the
wasn't
ones
20 shots in front of the library.
I believe so.
Oh,
The
really?
one
Wow.
the ones they have from the house are just unspent casings that they're able to say, yep, these came out of the same box.
Oh, wow. I didn't
That's
realize that he shot that many times.
that's what I took from
God.
it. So, so after the shooting, he fled the scene. His truck was later located at South Beach Park, where they found more evidence. But that timeline, like they were waiting for a search warrant. So, but please tell me somebody would have been watching the truck the whole time. How would this guy been able to circle back to his truck? Unless I'm not reading or listening to the press conference right, but he was seen.
Now, were they on work duty? Were they there at work? Were they on duty? These two people?
I don't think so. Uh, I'm not. I don't know for sure, but it sounds like this isn't the first time they met up at this spot at this time.
Okay.
Wow.
I think through the press conference, there was some information coming out that these two have been spending some time together outside of work.
Okay.
So it's becoming apparent there was most likely, unfortunately, an affair going on. But I don't know about Ooley if he was still married, but she was going through the divorce and separation, I guess, with Ellis. So
Yeah.
That is so sad because there's people that are involved with this and not indirectly, you know what I mean? Like either the spouses, it's so sad that
Ooley has a daughter, and I saw a Facebook comment from his daughter's stepfather who said he didn't know Ooley personally, but from all he knows is Ooley was a really good dad. He might have been caught up in this affair, but he wasn't what some of the Facebook comments are saying about him. So he obviously had an ex-wife and a daughter out there. I don't know if he was currently married and having an affair on this wife. I'm not sure of those details. I do know Mason and Ellis were in the middle of selling the property they owned together or the house and going through this separation. And there was quite the age gap, 49 and 64. I hate to say it, but as we get older, things change. But
Well, I mean, again, it's a lot of stress, and what happens is people they're under duress, they're selling a house, they don't know where to turn, they're getting older, and then he could have been on some medication that makes you do these things that, we always have to go back to that. You don't know what kind of medication people are on that makes you think those type of thoughts where I'm going to kill these people, or I'm going to take my own life or whatever.
you don't know with what the divorce was doing to his finances, his if he had a retirement or whatnot, it's it just mentally stresses you out and you just snap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fire department had the encounter with him about 900 yards offshore where he gave them a false name and refused assistance. Apparently he was pretty snippy with them, claimed he does this all the time. I saw in another comment that he had a makeshift flotation device. I didn't see that anywhere. I might have missed it. People in the comments, they always seem to have other information, but so they let him go because they're not law enforcement. The fire department, they're not going to apprehend anybody. And that's why I would be a little upset that, hey, I'm responding to somebody potentially out of their mind, out 900 yards offshore.
Yeah, is that like normal for somebody to be that far offshore?
I don't know.
I don't
Not
know.
me. Not
Hell
me.
no.
That's 9 football fields. That's a half a mile almost. So that's a long way, especially for some 64-year-old guy who was not in swimming condition. I don't think. I could be wrong.
And what was the current like that day? Was it a flat day? Was it
Some people
Still,
claim. Yeah, there was somebody, I guess another guy on the loose, I don't know the details, but in the comments again, somebody said he did what Dexter did and grabbed that warm Gulf Stream north, and
Just let
he's
it
going to
take
be in
him.
Canada next month or something like that. But that's crazy, man. Like if this guy had the death wish, I don't think he would have done it by swimming to sea. Like drowning yourself, that's crazy.
Right?
Well, I think the frame of mind that he was in was definitely altered from his normal self because he just took two lives, and that's you got to feel that, and you've got to, and he saw what he did, and the rage and anger and the mental where he
Anguish.
was at mentally, it's just not a normal place to be. So going out there and swimming out there, uh, I don't know if I don't, you don't know what you would do in that situation, but I do know if I saw something that looked odd enough, I would be like, well, maybe we should just stick around just to make sure this guy makes it to the shore safely, Because that, like you said, it was a half a mile from shore. And you can tell when somebody's in the water if they're skinny or fit. I mean, the water's not so black out there that you can't tell if a person's physically fit or not.
Yeah.
And he definitely, by the looks of him, he does not look like he's 25 years old. He looks like he's an older man. And that would have made me concerned. So, I mean, it's just odd that they would just be like, okay, and not even be like, hey, did he make it to shore?
Yeah.
Right? I have so I'm
I
not
think.
ignoring you. I'm going to try to load some of these pictures I had. Um, I loaded those that were released from the police department. I don't know where they all are. My phone updated, and now it puts things where they don't belong.
I mean, I thought for sure when they said he went out the ocean, I figured he just swam and then just tired himself out and drowned. Like that would just, so that's it. You're done. I pack it in. But if he got back
That
to
was
shore,
my thought too.
he's still wandering around town, like it's hiding. That's weird.
Yeah, because in that state of mind, who would you call?
Yeah.
You just would be like, man, what I just did is just fucked up, and you'd be like, oh my god, in this frame of mind, it's just hard to
Unless
say.
unless he that was the plan was to like do it and then drive to the beach and and
And
pretend like
drown,
he'd go in the ocean and then he swam back and then and then somebody
changed
picked
his
him up.
mind.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
somebody picked him up and took him somewhere, or who knows? Or somebody picked him up in a boat. I thought about that too. Like somebody was out there in the boat and picked him up and
That's
was
what
like,
I
"All right,
thought.
like I'm
I,
out."
I thought that too. At one point, I was like, well, somebody, he could have called somebody and said, hey, man, I just effed up. Can you meet
Or
me
he had
out
somebody,
in the water?
or he had somebody out there that was waiting, and he was premeditated, and he knew what he was going to do, and he was going to drive straight to South Beach, and then go in the water, and then meet a boat out there, pick him up, and take him for a ride.
Yeah, that could have happened too.
That's what I
So,
thought.
hold on. I don't know why this
And
is
you would
all
think
automatic.
they would see the boat out there, and they stop the boat and be like, "Hey, you see a guy swimming around? Pick him up."
It's
The,
just so
the,
sad because everybody's like these people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that said nice things about these people. So we've got, three
this is
people.
the. Sorry about that. People are coming and going. This is the picture of them. Obviously, when things weren't so tense, Stacie Mason and Ellis right there, and then here are pictures of the victims. That's Danny Ooley on the right and Stacie Mason on the left. I had other pictures of Mason, not Mason, Ellis, but I think I deleted them.
So
But
she
yeah,
likes
it's just,
older men.
I guess so. Um, I don't know. I haven't heard if she had children. I could be mistaken. I don't know.
So sad.
Yeah, I have more on the details. Let
Long-time
me pull this up.
employees in the county too. Like that's one thing when you see that in long-time employees.
Hmm. It's just really sad.
It is.
Okay, so I've let me go back to our slide here and then I'll pull up those details again. So from the press conference today, they've got those new photos out of him walking the beach. It's that they're saying that it's probably him.
But they
They're
don't know
treating
for
it
sure.
right. They don't know for sure, but they're still treating this as he's still alive and he's still out there, which I think they should have handled. I think they should have been a little more uh, urging from the get-go. If they would have been like right off the bat, yeah, this is a crime of passion, but this guy's out there and he's still armed, possibly. High alert, maybe we should
Yeah.
have all got notifications. They would have apprehended him instead of sending a fire department out there. But so the search expanded to all of Indian River County, possibly St. Lucie County, which he could be anywhere by now.
Yeah.
4 days later.
Hmm.
They're using canines, drones, air support, ground teams from help from other places like Brevard County, the sheriff's department, all that. He could have drowned, or he could still be alive. It's kind of like we don't know. Maybe this, maybe not. It's
So
like,
what were you saying about earlier? I thought I heard you say something about an empty holster.
the chief during his press conference, stated that through their search warrant executed at the house, they found his phone with a post-it note with a pin written on it, so they can get into the phone. And I guess his gun cabinet was left open. And based on an inventory, there was a holster there that was made for a 380, but they couldn't say if he's got a 380 or if not. There was no gun there that matches the holster, so it's possible he has it in a different holster with him. So
Or
he
it
should
could
be
be a gun he used to have and he got rid of the gun and they didn't
right.
need the holster.
They can't say either way, but they're considering him armed and dangerous. So they say don't approach, call 911 immediately. I think there's something going on with the Crime Stoppers, like a reward. It's 1-800-273-TIPS. I think that number is correct. So it's the whole thing. It's I'm just I don't know
think
what
it should have been handled a lot better.
I can agree with you there.
Why don't they release the footage, at least something showing something, what happened, get an idea. They haven't released any of the surveillance footage at all.
From what I know, as of right now, no.
Nothing.
I mean, it's really unfortunate, and the sheriff's department is the same way. These press conferences, you can't even hear them.
I know.
You have to depend on third-party media with their phones and microphones to get better audio, and it's like, there's a slide on the wall, but it's literally, I mean, that this day and age, it's literally all by phone.
So
it's
Thomas Kenny was there, right?
Thomas
At
Kenny
the
was there.
press con-
He got some good video, and he sent it to me. I'll probably repost it, and then that way, if anybody wants to watch it, they can watch the whole thing in its entirety. It was about 45 minutes long, so they can't see you because it's way up there. We have a visitor, Riley, in the studio. Come here. You want to say hi?
Hi, Riley.
So yeah, Ethan's sad story all around. Looking at some of the comments here, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Either way, you don't want anybody to be going through that kind of emotional stress, but nothing justifies taking
Someone's life.
unaliving people
Yeah.
for that reason.
That doesn't solve the hurt and the pain, and then you have to live with that. That's a horrible thing to have to live with, It's just, and then it affects everybody, not just the people involved in that scenario. It affects the people that love these people, that are related to these people, friends, anybody who's going through it, please reach out to somebody, please reach out and get some help, talk about it, but
Yeah.
don't take a life,
Yeah, so for anybody just joining us, this is the poster for Jesse Scott Ellis. It's hard for me to see because it's in a split screen, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's 64, 6'4". I don't know if that shows his weight or not, but he's not a small guy. Swam 900 yards offshore and apparently came back and walked off. and nobody knows where he's at, possibly armed and dangerous after killing 2 people, allegedly. But the police aren't saying that. The police say they have solid evidence and video, and like John said, where's the video? Like, already enough.
Yeah.
We're getting bits and pieces from the police department, and it seems more, I don't know, to me it seems more like a fumble. I don't know. Christine DuPont said she
Aw.
knew Stacie and Jesse personally. It's heartbreaking for all 3 families involved.
Aw, we're praying for you guys.
Definitely. Sorry for your loss, Christine. And it's
Yeah.
just another tragedy too close to home. And again, mental illness is real out there. It's not something to be played with. And I would be interested to know: are there pharmaceuticals involved? Is there a pre-existing mental illness or mental health condition going on? Our friend
And
Sheila
it doesn't.
Matthews gets into that, but usually that's after
Mhm.
the suspect isn't with us anymore. But
But
we don't know
like
where this suspect is.
when it comes to relationships like this and stuff, relationships are so emotional. Like all the comments on all 3 of these people are so good and positive. Like nobody has said anything terrible about these people. And emotional, when you're not ready or mature enough to handle these emotions, or you're very attached to somebody, and because sometimes relationships, one person could be the strong person in the relationship, and the other person is the one that's very needy, that needs you, that needs that companionship. And that's where the mental instability comes, when they lose that, or something's betrayed, or they feel betrayed, and they can have a whole life with no mental illness except for that weakness that they have, and it triggers, right, exactly. So it's hard to tell. And I'm just listening to all these stories, and it's just so sad, and I'm like, I'm not looking at it like he's had a mental illness all his life. He was very,
No.
there was
No.
something going on that was stressing his soul, stressing his mind, disconnecting him from all the wonderful things in his life. He was wrapped up in this so much that it really took a toll, and he just snapped,
Well, it's trauma too. You don't know what he's been through in his life. If he's been through another
Mhm.
divorce before, or what is this his second go around of this same situation, and these memories come back up, and then you start to think about it, like, wow, what this is happening all over again? Like, I can't take this, or whatever.
Yeah.
Alcohol's involved, and alcohol gets involved, and then you start to think, doing stuff to yourself. I mean, it's heavy. It weighs heavy on people, and the world is very strange right now to people. So it makes it even more heavy when your life's crumbling right in front of you, and not to mention all these truths that are coming out in the world, and you realize that your whole life has been not what you thought it was.
Yeah.
It's scary.
And John, you're always talking about the frequency around you and what frequency. So if he's having all this negativity and stuff going on, his frequency is
It's low.
raptured right there. It's low, and so you pick up on all the other frequencies that are like that, and it's hard to pull yourself out of that. And men, and for me as a woman, I think men try to keep things in.
Oh yeah.
Guys don't usually go to each other like girls do. Like girls, when we're falling apart and our hearts are breaking, we go to our closest girlfriend and we just lay it out. But guys don't really do that. They're like men. They like gotta hang on to it and deal with it. And that could be really a lot for a person,
Yeah. And stress is one of maybe the top 3 killers for people is stress. Stress on their heart attacks. Stress just to make bad decisions in the moment. Or premeditated too. It just makes you do strange things, and then you add alcohol and trauma and pills or whatever the case may be. It just amplifies it. And then you said it brings your frequency down. So then it's a spiritual battle. So you let your guard down, and then these spiritual beings get you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. This guy would never thought, like this lady said, this Christine DuPont, she would probably never thought that this guy would shoot his wife. Like,
right?
you would never think that, but then you think, well, yeah, but if you bring your frequency down and you're in a low state of consciousness, that you're depressed and you feel sorry for yourself, the demons they get a hold of you, and they get you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. And you add alcohol on top of it, or something else of that nature, it's going to make you make bad decisions and bad thoughts. and that's the great deceiver, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So this, and if he's out there, I would say, hey, Jesse, you've got friends that love you, family that love you. This was a really terrible thing that happened that you did, but come on in, be accountable, clear your soul, clear it out of your soul and take the accountability, You, s- people still know you all your life and they know the man that you were, and, we're praying for you,
Yep.
you know?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, if you do have any information, don't approach. If you come across this guy, don't approach him. But if you have any information that can help investigation or investigators here, call 1-800-273-8477. That's 1-800-273-TIPS, and that's Treasure Coast Crime Stoppers. Or you can call 911, call the police department. I think Crime Stoppers, you can stay anonymous. I'm not sure how that goes. And I believe the chief said there is some type of a reward, but at the website, there's no information on this case yet. It could be because it's new. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's just the mental health part. We've all had those romances that have fallen apart, and there's sometimes just one party that doesn't want to let go. But the important thing is you can't force anybody to be with you, and you can't end your life over somebody else's desire to be somewhere else. Let them
Yeah.
go. You can't end their life either, because there's other people who it affects. Obviously, working somewhere for that long.
No, you're getting close to
It's family.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Family,
I work a
children.
full-time job, and I'm with my employees sometimes more than I am with my own family. So after 15 years, 16 years, before then, that's a second family. So it's very hard for everybody in the small town, especially after dealing with uh, Deputy Sweeting being murdered, and
That's right.
that was just way too close to home. And now this, so it's a grieving community for sure. And I would be honest with you. At first, I thought maybe the sheriff's department should have handled this. Maybe it would have been better, but I wouldn't have recommended Eric Flowers do the press conferences
yeah,
either.
right. Yeah,
He's probably not the one to speak on infidelity. So
right.
not to
How
bring up-
ironic, right? If he actually was up there, like hand on the press conference, like there was a little infidelity going on, and
That would have been awkward.
he was using it. He was
if
using
you're
it.
watching Eric, sorry.
He was tracking her truck, and everything that happened to him, it would be the same thing. It'd be kind of fucked up, actually.
Yeah. So as we get more on this case, we'll bring it to you, and hopefully we can get some law enforcement take on it. Maybe our friend in former law enforcement will be able to join us in the future weeks when we have some more information, and maybe we can understand the process the police department was dealing with. Maybe it was not their fault, but
Yeah, I tried to get Dilks to come on, but he was Mike Dilks, former sheriff deputy, but he's on vacation, so that would have been good to get his insight. So this isn't over yet, so we'll get his insight, and we'll see.
Yeah, because Mike's also done investigative stuff too in
Oh,
his
yeah.
background, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, so he would definitely give us an idea of what
What
he
his
thought.
opinion is, yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're watching at home, it's a very sad story, but please, wherever you're watching, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment like Christine and Ethan did. We do appreciate you. It does help. I hate to ask for that kind of stuff at this kind of a story, but it helps us get our audience spread out a little more too. And without it, Facebook is horrible as far as getting our information out there. We have to nag groups about it, but it's what we got to do. So we do appreciate you guys tuning in, and that's all I've got for this. If you guys want to talk more about this, we can, or if you want to go on to any other local stories or elections, we can go that route also.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you have an interview coming out with Jennifer Pippin, right?
Yeah, yes, it's going to be a 2-part interview. I've got part 1 done. I like it. It's still the same format. We're not together, but we are virtually, and it's a little more of who Jen is, what she's made of, and why she does what she does. And that part 1 is almost ready. Maybe I'll put it out this weekend, and then I'll put it out again when we're done with part 2. Part 2 is going to have to be, is still yet to be recorded, but I want to make sure Jen is a friend of the show, and we'll offer the same amount of airtime to the other candidates in her race. That's not a question. We're not about limiting anybody. We might not reach out to a Democrat for equal time, but if they wanted to come on and wanted to plead their story, we'll take them. And we're very open-minded and respectful. We probably won't agree, but they won't come anyways. But any other candidate that wants to come on, we will. But we are a little partial to Jen. She is a friend of the show, and she does support us. So I wanted to do a really good interview for her to introduce herself to the people on social media. Because if you see anything with Jennifer attached to it on social media, there is so much false narrative and false accusations about Jennifer Pippin. It's really sad and sickening, and I got to stop myself from getting emotional about it because I know she's stronger than that. But there are some accusations out there about Jen. Let me get off that.
Yeah, it's just so surprising how people love to play the devil's advocate instead of actually, trying to see what she actually was doing. And even though, there were people in that audience in the school district that heard people reading from those books that still would turn around and call it a book banning. It makes no sense to me. I'm like, look,
in part 2, I think in part 2, we're going to go deep into that part of her life and dealing with more of that, when you put yourself out there like we do, and more so like Jen does, you're a magnet for the crazies and the false accusations and the lies, and you just try to put out the best information you can for the people who are watching. And Jen was like a knight in shining armor. Who was that? Like Joan of Arc. She's the one who spearheaded this, and she didn't back down at all. She would take every punch thrown. She would take the sword and then back for you or me when it comes to these libraries and parental rights. So that takes a psychological effect on everybody, though, no matter who you are. So I'm glad she's not backing down. I'm surprised she's running for a county seat. I feel like she's a lot more powerful where she's at. But then again, thank God, because at the county level, without the right people there, you never know what can happen in your backyard. I mean, we have not the best county commission right now, but we do have a citizen base that keeps them on their toes, I believe. And thank God for that, too. So,
well, the county commission is a very important place because they spend the money of the county, and they negotiate with, they deal with the, all the planning departments, all the committees. People come to them, hey, we want to change code for this, or we want building codes to change, we want land codes to change, so they are all intertwined in all of that. So you need county commissioners that are going to look out for what the community and the residents are looking forward to their community becoming, not what everybody from a different state wants your community now to turn into because they all want to live here. It's like, you've got to do what's good for the county and the demographics of the county and the infrastructure for the county. And I think Jennifer would be a really good person in that seat.
And who is she running against?
She is running against Melissa Dean and another candidate who says he's conservative, but from his pictures, he doesn't look very conservative. So well, I don't know.
You're confusing him.
The green hair?
He's not a conservative. He's running as a Democrat.
But he is? I thought he was running as a Republican.
No, there was record of him being a Republican. But I'm not so sure that's him. That could have been his father, because I think he does a Roman numeral after his name. And the picture I saw of the registered voting record didn't have a Roman numeral after their name.
And that's the one with the green
hair? Second, like Robert Johnson II, Robert Johnson III. But yeah, the one with the green hair. That one's going to be... there's more to come out about that, and I think right now what we need to focus in on is the actual primary. And I don't believe he is running as a Republican, but we can look it up right now.
Yeah, I was looking it up to see what the supervisor of elections had him in as. Um,
Let's pull.
I'm
I can
looking
pull
at
it
it.
up.
I thought the picture was Photoshop when I saw the green mohawk. I was like, oh wow.
So,
There's other photos
oh
too.
wow, we've got a lot of people in District 2 now. So we've got Melissa Dean running as a Republican, Robert Robbie Hardingham running as a Democrat. Yeah, I
Yep,
think
that's
that is
him.
the guy with the green hair. Bob McPartland, he's a Republican. Of course, Jennifer Pippin is a Republican. And then Daniel Brooks Robinson, that's new to me, another Republican. So we've got one, two,
Really?
three, four Republicans running.
Okay, yeah, I've just pulled
And
it
that's
up.
District 2. Because the
So
last time I looked, I didn't see Daniel in there, but he's in there now.
I don't know any of them except for Jennifer.
Yeah, I don't know any of them either. Jennifer's the only one I know.
There's a Democrat running against Daryl Lohr, so he won't be participating in a primary as of yet, right? Or is it already deadline for primary?
I don't know.
Ryan Matthews is running for School Board District 1. That's the spot where Dr. Posca is, and supposedly he's a good conservative.
We should have him on. And
We
then
could reach out to him, yeah.
for School Board District 2, you've got Jackie Rosario and Thomas Lang. Thomas Lang, that sounds familiar. Did he run before?
Yeah, it does sound familiar.
I don't know, but we can find out, and we can reach out to him also. And nobody's running against Terry Brandenburg for school board.
I should run. Damn.
Why don't
Right.
you run?
Things are over for me. I'm not
Yeah.
getting up there wearing a tie and a collar and
I think-
like I know.
Joanne, I think you're the only one here that's cut out for an election.
No way.
I mean, I would probably win, but it wouldn't be worth it.
And then there's a bunch of hospital district seats open.
Yeah.
Couple of them are already incumbents. I don't see Sheila Matthews' name on there. Maybe she should run again.
Yeah. I mean, they say if you run once, you should run twice.
I don't know. It doesn't look like anybody's earned any money yet, so it really hasn't gotten down to the nitty gritty. But the District 2 seat for the county commissioner, that one's going to be interesting because they're going to use everything they can to see. And I'm interested on the voting records of those other Republicans, only because I'm always suspicious of Republicans in Florida.
So I'll tell you one thing I know. Bob McPartland was a strong advocate of turning the children's services into a children's trust.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
Yeah, he was a strong advocate. So as a Republican,
And we don't want that.
No, because he's into growing government. And you know what people should know also is if they did get rid of property taxes, because that would become, if it became a taxing district, it would become a special, what do they call it, a special taxing district? So
So
you would
if it
you would
becomes
be
a
paying
trust,
into,
right?
yeah, you would be paying into it even if they said no taxes on property
Right.
owners. That's
So we
that's what-
can't let that happen. And,
No.
because
So-
that group already makes enough money.
Oh my
They
gosh.
already
have
they run a
much-
surplus already. They don't need to lock in our tax dollars. But yeah, so it'd be nice to learn more about some of these other people running for District 2. And Thomas Lang, I'm interested in learning more about Thomas Lang and why he's running against Jackie, another strong conservative, the only conservative I see. Besides Dr. Posca, the only conservative that I know of on the board, because Terry Brandenburg is not much of a conservative.
Yeah.
So that's all I got for that. Did you have deadlines?
Deadlines, let's see.
To register to vote or to file for? to run.
I don't know. I'm trying to see where to find that. Let me go to home. Voter registration, register to vote, update your vote record.
Oh, I got it right here.
You got it?
Yep. So voting registration deadline is July 20th for the primary, the 2026 primary. This is general election, must be. No, this is just a primary. So, yeah, you have to be registered by July 20th. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th. It's got the locations here. Mail-in ballot request deadline is August 6th. Election day is August 18th.
Yeah.
That's the primary. The general election, of course, the deadline to vote is October 5th. Early voting is October 19th through 31st. Same locations, I believe. Mail-in ballot request deadline is October 22nd. We got some time for this. This stuff might even change by law before we even get there. So as far as right now, we need to focus on the primary election. So make sure you're registered to vote in the party you align with, not the party you want to vote against or sabotage, but
Right.
register to vote with the party your beliefs align with, and be active. Midterms and primaries always suck, and it always sucks for the good guy, I feel like, and maybe that's conservatives, but
Well, it's because people don't really know about the primaries. They don't even pay attention to the primaries, most people. So, the primary comes and goes, and then they vote in the general, and they're like, hey, I thought you were on the ballot. And it's like, no, I was on the ballot in the primary. So,
Right.
and with us having 4 Republicans in District 2, everybody needs to go and vote in the primaries and pick that candidate that you want to cross the finish line. Because if you don't, the most popular one is going to make it across, because all their people will know to vote in the primary because they've been doing it for year after year. But when you've got 4 new grassroots or 3 new grassroots candidates coming into the race, everybody needs to be active,
For sure. We, as a citizen base, we should definitely be more active in primaries and midterms, in elections, local in general, because that's where the bad shit slips under the radar, and you end up with a mess of a community.
Yeah, the last primary, only 26% of voters showed up. That's really low. So it's like
Right.
everybody get out there, and I would love to see it say 50% because that's a huge jump from 26%. So if we could get people to be interested and go vote in the primaries,
So, so you're talking about a population of 117,526 registered voters.
yeah, and 26% of them show up for the primary last time.
There's more than that just in registered Republicans. So there's no excuse. Here's the demographics right here. Out of 117,526, 62,133 are registered Republicans. 26,005 are registered Republicans, and then there's like 25,000 no party affiliated.
But
Or something.
we're also a closed primary state, so that means you have
Right.
to push that person over. If you're an independent, you need to go and vote, change your registration by July 20th to vote for that party that person's in, and then switch it back, after you do the vote, so that you can be back to your party when you go to vote in the general election.
Correct. Let me see if I can pull
So it's
up.
just an extra step because we're a closed primary state,
Yep. So you can visit vote. Where'd it go?
It's right there.
VoteIndianRiver.gov and visit the Supervisor of Elections website for more information. We've had her on the show. Well, I don't know if she was on the show, but I think you did a connecting people and places with her, and she's a great person to give information to. She's very thorough.
She's awesome.
Yeah, even if you don't catch her on any media, she's the kind of person that'll answer your emails or phone calls or see you if you go there in person. So I was very impressed with her.
Yeah, she's a very good person and her staff love her. She works hard. She's very personable. Like you said, all you have to do is call her, ask questions, and she'll be happy to help you.
Yeah. So, with that being said, unless you guys have something else you want to bring to the table, I think we summed up the major news in our
Yeah.
area. People at home, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, or follow if you're not. We're on all the major platforms and would appreciate your follow everywhere you get your media from. Visit us at ircmedia.net. We're also on X and stuff like that. I post some articles on X and on our website about local news or national news also. So check that out, and definitely check out Binford Chronicles, TGI Now podcast on Wednesdays. No, Tuesdays is TGI Now. Wednesdays is To The Point. Joanne, you do yours on Thursdays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second Thursday of every month we do the Conspiracy Club, which is coming up on, is it the 9th?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is it the 9th? Is it the 9th of April?
Yeah, I think it's the fall one. No, wait.
I'll tell you in a second. April 9th. You're right. April 9th. You've got it right. Yeah,
Oh,
April
yeah.
9th.
Look at that. April
Yeah.
9th. So just the week after Easter, we'll be at Filthy's in Vero Beach for the Conspiracy Club. And,
That's
I'm
always
sure,
fun.
yep, I'm sure this will come up or other issues like this, maybe more Flat Earth, maybe more Hollow Moon. John steers the conversation, and it's always a great time. So that's between 6 and 8,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
At Filthy's in Vero Beach, and right here on the internet. You can join us. You can even join us on the internet in comments, or if you want to come on, I'll get you on somehow. So, anyways, guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for another great show.
Yep. Yep. No, for sure. I reached out to Melissa Redpill too. She has a podcast. I think she's close by, so I was trying to get her to come to the Conspiracy Club meeting too. So we'll
Oh,
see
that
what
would be fun.
Yeah,
I'll have to
she got
follow her. I'm not
this week. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
she's
if
good.
I follow her. So.
Melissa Redpill. Yeah, she's good. Yeah.
Awesome. We're almost right at an hour, so I'm going to let you guys go. And I'm actually starting vacation, so you guys have
Alright.
a good week.
You too.
You too. All right, buddy.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the Shield stronger. Donate and help our cause. Help their cause. Because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org. Because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.